Care for a dance? Dance with me!
Allow me!
With one heart, we pray. At least.
Let's make her the Temple of Wisdom!
Your sacrifice is ready.
Care for a dance? Lush as the moonlight. Dance with me!
All eyes on me! I'm sick picture! Committed to memory!
By the frost moon
Your
of old.
sacrifice is
Hold the line! Committed to memory!
By the frost moon of old.
Billowing surge! Grow!
Branch into soul.
All eyes on me! Let's play turn positions!
For the everlasting good.
Allow me!
Yeah, so that was my speedrun that I got today. I finally managed to finish building the team. It's not quite finished. You know, I haven't got Lauma's artifact set. I haven't increased her burst talent up. But this team is so powerful now. And yeah, I am using C0 characters. I have Nilou signature weapon, but then 4-star weapons. The first thing about my build is I am using Flower of Paradise Lost set, which I've talked about in previous videos. It's kind of like a side grade to the mixed HP sets that people more commonly use, I would say. Except you can say it's more efficient because you can farm for 2 of your Hydra characters at the same time, rather than strong boxing for Nilou separately and then farming for your Hydra character separately. However, I will say, as you can see, my HP is maxed even though I'm not using a HP set. That's because there is the fantastical blessing on right now. 20 extra HP. So at the moment at least, Flower of Paradise Lost is just straight up better than mixed sets. But yeah, you build it very similarly, except you do want to prioritize a lot more HP because you just get less from the set bonuses. These are my builds. Lauma, basically the star of the show. It cannot be overstated just how much of a damage increase she is for Nilou. It's amazing. This is the build I have. You prioritize EM and you prioritize ER, but then you try to get crit as well. I am also using the event weapon. It's this one. I have got the dire clear, so this is what it actually looks like. Lauma really does want the energy recharge. I think this is a bit overkill, but you do want quite a bit, so it's nice that the weapon takes care of it. And then it kind of does let you focus more on getting some crit stats on your EM pieces. You can see these pieces are quite nice. Unfortunately, I haven't managed to crown her burst, so maybe my times could be even faster. On top of that, as you saw, I've only got a mix set, and the optimal strat, which you need to do eventually at some point after you guys have built your llamas and built your new weapons, is you do want to farm this set for your llama. The team EM buff is very nice, 60 to 120. In a team like this, it will only be 60, but that's still worth it. I'm assuming a lot of you will probably start farming that around the time Stygian Onslaught comes out, so you can spend your resin there whilst the event is going on. And I'm probably going to make a separate video on this, but this weapon I think every Nilou player should farm. It gives the same element of mastery as Sacrificial Fragments, except instead of this passive here, you get 96% bloom damage. Now that sounds like a lot, but actually what that equates to is maybe 6 to 7% more damage on your blooms. So for me, I do consider that damage increase worth it enough that moving forward, I'll probably be using this weapon in like 90% of situations, I think. Flower of Paradise Lost set, nothing different from what I normally do. I do triple EM. I did make that video about the recoil nerf, which makes it so you aren't taking as much damage as before. But if you want more healing, you know, you could do healing bonus. But there really is no need for insane amounts of healing once you get used to the team. Just takes a bit of practice. These are my talents as well. And the last character, Nahida. Honestly, in my testing, I don't think Nahida is that much better than Kole here, but I do think she is the best in slot overall. Her build is pretty much the same as she's always been. I'm using Wandering Even Star, but you could use Widsith if you want. It's not a big deal. Deepwood Memories, and then these are my pieces. Now, since I've been testing the team, I have got a few game tips for you. The first tip is, for my testing, pretty much getting Lauma's E on the field as quick as possible should lead to the fastest clears, at least so far in my testing. I could be doing something wrong, but this does contradict with a lot of the calculations that I have seen, where a lot of those theoretical rotations, do your team setup, use Lauma's Q, and then use her hold E. Now theoretically that's good because you build up these quill stacks, you know, maybe you get Lauma's hold damage, which is very nice. However, that does come at a trade-off, which is that you don't get these crits here. Maybe you're losing out on Lauma's artifact set, and you're also losing out on this res shred, and in general you're going to be creating less blooms until you cast Lauma's burst. And for me, that trade-off wasn't worth it. I did a lot of testing, and this is what seems to clear the fastest. You do want to start using Lauma's hold E after, when you've got your team set up, but yeah, I just found just getting this on the field as fast as possible was the way to go. After you do Lauma's E, I find you can either do Nahida or Nilou, whichever one you want. You can see in my chamber 1, I started off with Nahida's E, and then in the chamber 2, I actually went from Lauma to Nilou straight away. But that's just my early testing so far. The other tip is you guys should be practicing Kokomi's different ways of applying Hydro. For example, doing her normal attack, her E, then the burst, and maybe doing a charge attack somewhere as well. That is like 4 sources of Hydro application at once. Kokomi's charge attack especially applies Hydro and AoE, that's very nice. And yeah, honestly, the last tip I can give is that these teams actually have quite a high ceiling now. And one of the reasons, I'm sure some of you who already had Nahida C2 would know, is there is quite a bit of variation with all these crit passives. It's not a very high crit rate at all, but it does mean you can push the ceiling if you do a bit of resets. Anyway, we've got the Abyss reset coming up, and we've also got the Stygian Onslaught coming up back to back. So that should be fun for a lot more testing. I think Kokomi is good in this team. I think Barbara is good in this team. I think Kole is also good at replacement for Nahida. Also, if you guys have noticed anything else with this team in your testing, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys.